Hi guys, it's Chris at Cork and Crown, back in my cider shed with some more cider to try, and it is a cider today. We did Perry, a Poire, in the last episode, the Domaine Poire. Then I picked up on the way back from France, which we enjoyed very much indeed, 4%, very delicious. I'm going to get more Domaine Poire based on the back of that. It's just you trying to find some too. But this time we've got a cider from a producer I've never tried before. La Galotiere, that's the Domaine. There you go, there's a label. This is Pédoge. It has an AOP, appellation Pédoge Protégé, so it's protected. This is the real deal. This is unusual in that it is, in fact, where does it say on here? Where are you? Cidre, Biologique, Brut. So Biologique, so organic. This is an organic cider, and there are not loads of them around, 5%. Not I'm familiar with. There was one that I used to get from Etienne Dupont, the Dupont cidery, Calvados, whatever you call it. They did an organic one, and I didn't enjoy it very much. And what's interesting about that is they only had 3 or 4 organic trees, so varietals to use. So actually, it wasn't as good as the non-organic stuff, because the non-organic stuff had a lot more apples they could use, because they didn't have to be organic, and they didn't have historically they didn't have that many licensed classified organic trees. So yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great. I don't know if they've got more now. Possibly. It's probably worth looking into actually, that. But these guys are organic. Been organic since the early 2000s, I believe, from what I read. The producer is Jean-Luc Olivier, producteur récoltant. 5%, hence Brut. It's over 4.5%. Yeah, kind of a funky contemporary label as well. We're going to have a couple of other ones that I got. Totally different, really old school sort of labels. But hey, don't mind. There's room for everything. And I do quite like this contemporary label. It's quite simple. Anything on the back that we can make out. Flint, clay, limestone is the terroir, if you want to say. Brut cider. Yep, natural effervescence. So pet nat, I think, is the standard for these things. Appearance is it's orange yellow. Well, we're going to find out what the colour is. The palate is fresh and tannic cider with some astringency at the end. So we're going to expect some tannin in there, which one would hope. But this is going to be, it says Brut, but we're going to expect some residual sugar, food matches, cheeses, meats, salads. So anything really. And cheeses, I mean what? Roquefort? Camembert? I mean Camembert, yeah. Cheddar. All totally different. I hate when people just put cheeses on there. It's like, what do you like? I like wine. I mean, yeah, just anything. It doesn't matter what it is. Yellowtail, Romani Conti. What do you like? Whoop, so that's just broken on me. No matter. This is a bit too cold. Got my cider salon glass, which I still haven't broken. But I've only had it 2 weeks. Give me a couple more weeks. I'll break it. Let's get. Yeah, it's open. Come on, you git. Here we go. Nice. Pop. Smoking gun. Very nice indeed. Yep. So this is a bit cold. Anything that pops up flavour-wise, as it warms up and sits, I'll put something in the bottom here for you, in the bottom of the screen here. Let's pour it out. So, should be some nice bubbles, and indeed there are nice bubbles. Hazy. I mean, it's unfiltered. I mean, it's keeved. It's obviously going to be keeved. That's just part of the process. And keeving is sort of a fining process, so it should give you a brighter liquid. So obviously this has got some brightness to it, but it has also been fermented in bottles, so you're going to have some yeast sediment in there just from the fermentation. It's not super bright, but nice colour, and it is like an orangey gold, amber gold, light amber gold, let's say. There's the colour with me thingamajig behind it. Pretty looking thing. Let's give it a sniff. It's way too cold. Way too cold. Oh well. Lovely nose. Fresh, ripe apple with the kind of pastry baked character as well, which we always expect from these sorts of things. Hints of funk. Just a hint of funk in it. Just a little bit. Which I like a lot. Don't mind that at all. Yeah. Fresh apple, sort of a rounded pastry element to it. Some funk as well. Tastes like a proper cider. It smells like a proper cider, I should say. So let's give it a taste. Has got astringency, has got decent residual sugar, has a hint of acidity. So these guys, I think they've got around like 50 varietals. It's a lot of different varietals. I can't remember what the minimum. Well, I can't remember exactly what the rules are for AOP, AOC, Cidre, P2 Cidre, but yeah, they usually have quite a lot of different varietals in there, which is why that organic one from DuPont probably didn't do it for me. Like 3, you're not going to get anything like the complexity, probably year on year, vintage on vintage, because I think different varietals will perform differently in different years. So having all those different choices gives you more room to blend something, which gives you more complexity of flavour. These guys got 50. Another thing that I find interesting, it always amazes me, is if you go to their websites, I don't know why it always surprises me, but these guys are pretty much first and foremost Calvados producers. They produce Calvados, cider brandy. That's what they do. This stuff is like just something they do as a side, as an aside. It's not what the business is all about. It's all about the Calvados. For me, I'd rather drink the ciders and so forth, and the perries, than I would Calvados. I mean, I like Calvados, but I can drink a lot more cider than I can Calvados, and it has its place in much more it's suitable in many more situations than spirits are, than Calvados is, But anyway, hey, let's get back to this, shall we? Yes, please, Chris. Okay. So yeah, nice residual sugar. Has some freshness about it. Very subtle pastry. Not really. This is not going into tartatan sort of territory by any stretch of the imagination. Poached pear, apple pie with brown sugar. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting off it. But it is very cold. It will warm up and bring more to the party. It's astringency on the finish. I mean, the astringency I get in my mouth. I'm not getting hard tannin on the back. I'm not really getting any leatheriness to speak of whatsoever. Hint of that funk on the palate as well. If you like Keef ciders, French ciders, you will definitely like this. Absolutely guarantee it. The thing about biodynamic, like organic rather, is just because something's organic doesn't mean it tastes better than something that's not organic. It really doesn't. I mean your farming principles your standards are very high, but then most people who aren't labelled organic aren't doing anything which are particularly non-organic. Most of these people have standard trees, standard orchards, old trees. They're not going to be doing anything particularly, non-organic, non-sustainable, because it's just not necessary. You don't get the quality of apples if you do. So, yeah, this is an absolutely solid French AOP P2 cider. It's not the best one I've ever had, but it's absolutely delicious, and I'll drink the whole thing. And even though it's organic, I don't think, again, it was that expensive. I think it was about €6. €6, 5 maybe, something like that. Not very expensive at all. I bought it in Caen, which is like, I don't know, not many miles sort of like west of where this stuff is actually made in the P2. So, I hadn't gone very far, so you wouldn't expect to pay loads for it, but still, €6 is still pretty cheap for something as good as this, in my opinion. All right, guys, thank you for joining me back in my shed. There are more of these to come. I think another 3 independents, and then some stuff from bigger producers as well. But yeah, the Galotiere, Domaine, P2, Cidre Brut, organic, we like, solid, worth trying, definitely worth trying, and hopefully as it warms up we'll get more complex. Alright guys, thank you once again, and cheers.